Good day, everybody. How's it going out there? Well, it's spoopy time. And I don't mean Halloween. I mean the thing in November just after it. We have some very frightening candidates for president. They're always a little bit frightening, but then they get majorly frightening. You know, it's sort of like this weird thing. Here's the thing. The difference between being a child and an adult, I think, is this concept of is how you perceive this particular thing. In America, anybody can be president, right? If you look at that with hopeful and joyfulness and things like that, when I was growing up, that's what it felt like, right? It's like, and in America, anyone can be president. Any person, if they just put their mind and commitment to it, can be the leader of the United States of America. And then as I got older, that phrase turned into a nightmare going, oh God. Oh God. Anybody can be president. Oh no. You know, it's just how it is. So obviously, if you're going to get out there and vote, get out there and vote. I won't tell you who to vote for, but I know who I'm voting for. So as you get older, you realize it's like you're a voice in a sea, and the sea is going to move no matter what you do. It doesn't matter what actions you take. The sea is going to move, and the people are going to move in whichever direction. I have hope that the people will at least, keep things afloat this time. I think we've had our taste. But if not, then not. But let's talk about politics outside the U.S. because things could be worse. And, news out of Russia, again, things could be worse. Russia official recommends recognizing anthropomorphic subcultures as LGBT propaganda. Now, for those of you who are not aware of Russian politics, LGBT propaganda they already have laws against that kind of expression and sort of things like that. So they want to expand that idea to that. We covered, the Russians kind of encroaching in on like a My Little Pony gathering and basically closing it early, not like raiding it or anything, but basically saying, you may want to close up early, you're causing a scene. That kind of a thing. Wink, wink, and nudge, nudge. Wink, wink. So, Russia's has a little bit of paranoia about individuals expressing themselves and not allowing individuals to express themselves in the way they wish to express themselves, because there's no greater threat to any kind of authoritarianism or anything like that than individuals who decide to express themselves in the way that they wish to express themselves. And furry has, always sort of been a proponent of that, for better or for worse. And I think most of the times for the better. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, right? So, in essence, the interesting thing about this article, though, is that when it came out, there were some people there was a quote in it that was going like, there was a Russian article that kind of complimented this one and was basically written by, it's like, in this article references that Russian article. And basically in that Russian article, they go, we tried to contact the leader of the furries, but we couldn't get them. We tried to contact Moose and Squirrel, couldn't get them. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, like a lot of people joked, it's like, oh, what did they do? Contact Kage. It's like, Kage, get Kage on the line. We need the leader of the furries. It's like, don't do it. His head's too big already. Don't do it. And, of course, that is exactly what happened. And it was supposed to be a joke that was in, like, some chat somewhere. And then I saw this tweet, and I'm like, it wasn't a joke, was it? Nope. This was real life. So Kage indicated that indeed a media that was a mouthpiece of the Kremlin, as it were, down here, did in fact contact him. And it's fully quoted as, "This guy emailed me asking to interview me about the furry fandom. Turns out he is a mouthpiece for the Kremlin. The take-home lesson is that you must always check the source when people ask to interview you. Of course I didn't reply. Of course not. Who do you take me for? I'm not that gullible. But at least Kage gets to be called contact the leader of the furry fandom. And it's always, and we joke about it a little bit, but at the same time, it's like this is the nuance that people who vibe with authoritarians or work for authoritarians don't understand. It's like the world doesn't always fit in your nice little hierarchy, right? Like the little tree. It's like, oh, here's the big guy up top. He makes all the decisions, and then it goes down to these guys, and then these guys make decisions for these guys. Yes, humans still do this for the most part in many corporations and in many things, but the reality is that things are a little more web-shaped at the end of the day, right? Things are a little more, nuanced, right? Sure, Kage is a leader in the furry fandom. He leads a convention organization that mostly covers Anthrocon, but also, helps other associated furry conventions within the same particular geographical region. He's, out west, he has no real power. Like, I don't either, right? I don't have much power at all, right? It's like, well, you're an editor for Flavor. It's like, yes, that comes with some responsibilities, but it's not, I'm not the leader of the fandom, or neither is like, other people like Majira Strawberry. It's like, at one point he was like a big name in YouTube, and then like he faded away, right? And Beta Eta Lotus still stands, but Majira not so much. So, like, things can change over time. People who are important become less important. People who are less important become more important. And the importance of our world, whether it's in a democracy or in any other forms of government, is that the people who provide and are able to do a good job get promoted, and the people who break down and can't do so ebb away. And I think for the long of it, furry fandom has been very good about doing that. And I think that ideal and that issue and that thought and that pattern is the thing that really frightens people who are more authoritarian, right? In the United States, like, authoritarianism is on the rise, and it's a rise across the world. We have leaders for life in China and Russia, and now we're starting to see this concept of leader for life being strewn into basically the Republican Party, right? Where it's like, yeah, you can have a primary, but you know who the de facto leader is, right? You know who the leader of the guys is, right? It's not going to be you know who the leader is, right? You're not going to have competition against the leader. You're not going to have any of that, because that's a sign of weakness. And unfortunately, in this global society in which we live in, a lot of people have to posture like that, and especially a lot of governments have to posture like that. They have to see others as threats, and if seeing as them as threats, they have to build big cities to show their importance to the heavens, or to at least other countries. Right, and that's why they have to build these big cities with big buildings, and it's just like, it's a front, basically. And unfortunately, it's like, I don't see that changing in our species anytime soon. Certainly not within my lifetime. Maybe we'll grow past it one day. But until then, vote on November 4th, because the only way we can grow past it someday is if we vote for people who will understand the importance of a system of checks and balances and maintain that system of checks and balances, and not see themselves as leader for life, and not set a precedent for creating a leader for life. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to get the hop out of here. Thank you very much for watching. Kick that like, kick the subscribe button, kick a comment in the comment section if you so desire. And we will see you guys next time. Hopefully after a hopefully we will see each other next time. Ooh, I voted. You voted too, hopefully.